Hi, this is Praveen from ADX 2020 Day 2. We're pretty excited. This morning, obviously, the breakfast was pretty amazing. It was, very. Susan delivered the keynote, which we heard about, and it was sensational. The people, it was very touching story. Now, obviously, people are, very much interested to know about how to save the business, a little bit about the packages. So we just thought about a couple of tips how you can implement right here because of the coronavirus or the effect which you are finding in your business. And I have got my good friend Albert. Good day, Albert.
Hi, Praveen. Look, what I'd like to talk about is the financial packages that have been announced by the federal government that will be of assistance to dentists in the operation of their practice. Now, most of the dentists will be aware of the $30,000 asset write-off, which is where you purchase an asset. If it's valued or the cost is less than $30,000, you're able to get an immediate tax deduction and write-off for it.
And it's very important, isn't it, Albert? Because obviously patients are down, or some of them are noticing the bit of cancellations, and they're a bit of suffering from not just from the anxieties, but also what's going to happen. So a little bit of fear. So obviously this stimulus package government have announced really will help. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, look, in particular with that asset write-off, which ultimately saves you tax, which helps with your cash flow, that $30,000 limit has now been lifted to $150,000.
Wow.
So pretty much any piece of equipment that you're going to buy for the dental surgery will allow you to take a tax deduction for the amount that you're spending. As long as that's financed by way of a loan and not by way of a lease. And our friends at Credible, we're at their stand right now, will most certainly be aware of the rules regarding asset finance. So they will ensure that you do get that tax deduction, that the finance is organised appropriately, and that will take care of that side. I must say it would be a very nervous time for those dentists who are either renovating their surgery or doing a start from scratch or a refurbishment or something like that, where they're committed to the project, and we've now got this coronavirus that's setting a scare through the whole world.
Yeah.
The second part of the
before you move to the second part, I mean, what you're just saying is from 35,000 it has moved to 150,000. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. It moved to 150, and that's for any asset purchased from 2 days ago through to 30th of June 2020.
Okay, so this financial year, this financial year.
It has to be this financial year, and you also need to note that it must be delivered, installed and ready for use by the 30th of June. So you can't just place your order on the 29th of June and get the tax deduction. It needs to be delivered, installed, ready for use to take advantage of that. So the ADX is probably a perfect environment to have a look around and see if there is equipment that is necessary for your business, that you make that purchase or put that order in now, because again, supply chains around the world have been disrupted. So it may be possible, it may not be possible to actually get the equipment that you're after in time. So those
probably
people
then they can ask the suppliers, would you literally make sure that in a couple of weeks or before June, would you able to install it? Yeah, that would be a right question.
Yeah, absolutely. And normally that's sort of major pieces of equipment. They'll know whether they've got it in stock, when the next delivery is due, or when they can sort of promise dispatch out to your surgery.
Right. So if right now we are just in ADX Day 2, just at the back, Credible is a great sponsor for one of our event. Now, if you're liking the video, if you're a dentist, feel free to like it, press the thumbs up, or feel free to share this video. Now, tell me, Albert, then what's the point two? What's about? I'm just curious. I was reading because obviously I'm very, I'm not accountant, very layman. So What's a 25,000? Is it just giving the cash away, or what's? Mate, tell me more.
Okay, well, it's not quite giving the cash away, but before I get on to the 25,000, there's another asset write-off situation that dentists should be aware of, and that's an extended depreciation period that goes through to the 30th of June 2021. So it's going to run for the next 15 months, and that's for any assets purchased where you cannot or don't want to take a full write-off. You can claim 50% write-off, so claim half of it, and then depreciate the rest of it in the normal course like you would do with a normal asset. So that will spread your tax deduction out over a longer period. So you may want to do that if you feel that your business has taken a bit of a hit this year and you don't need as much of a tax deduction and you'd like to defer that into 2021 or maybe even 2022 to get a better average tax rate over those 2 or 3 years rather than paying no tax this year potentially and being at highest marginal rate next year, which doesn't make a lot of sense. Better off to try and take that average. Again, all designed to stimulate the economy and get things moving or continue to move through this crisis. But now the real one, which is a cash injection into the business, which is the $25,000.
Are we getting the 20? It's what you're saying is it's every dentist who have a practice. Do they get 25 grand cash, or what? I mean, is that? Okay. I'm just a bit confused. That's all.
You look more excited than confused. No, it's not. It's not a gift.
Yeah. Okay.
Firstly, you must be a business with a gross turnover of less than $50 million, which will be most of our dental practices for sure. You must employ staff. So you must have dentists that are or staff that are working for you.
Full-time staff or contractors?
No, contractors are not employees.
Oh, okay.
So they must be employees.
Yep.
They must be people that you withhold tax from their wages. And that's the whole key to the claim. You must withhold $50,000 in tax on wages between now and the 30th of June so that you can claim 50% of what you've withheld, and that's where the $25,000 is calculated. So if you only withhold $40,000 in tax on wages, your maximum claim would be 50% of that. It would be $20,000. Where you've got people who are a sole trader type business, they don't have employees, or for whatever reason there isn't a wage to be paid, there's a minimum $2,000 that can be claimed by that business. I would think that most of the dental practices out there will certainly have a DA or a receptionist or someone else that they are paying wages to and most likely deducting $20,000, $30,000, $50,000 during the course of the year. Obviously a lower amount for a shorter period of time. To be able to get that money, the claim is made through your business activity statement or your instalment activity statement. So you'll need to make sure, A, that all those instalment activity statements are up to date, that you have in fact withheld the correct amount of tax on the wages paid during that period. Most of the dentists, in fact I'd say 99% of the dentists, are now on the single touch payroll system, which is all electronically digital done through the tax office. So the tax office will know how much they're paying out well and truly probably before you do, because they've got a record of the wages that have been paid to date. It will run effectively from the 1st of January through to the 30th of June, so it's a full 6-month period. The first claim will be on your March business activity statement or March instalment activity statement, where you put your payroll on, and they will start assessing from the 28th of April. So you've still got a few weeks to go, and they say they will pay the amount within 14 days. So everyone should be paid, if they're entitled to those dollars, or paid an amount before around about the 12th or 13th of May.
Yeah.
Okay, if you haven't during the March quarter, if you haven't had to withhold $50,000 in tax on employees' wages, then you've got a second go during the next 3 months leading up to 30th of June, and you'll get paid out in early August the balance that you're entitled to. But it really does provide, because quite often when it comes around BAS time, that's when the dentists are looking at paying their tax on wages, paying any GST or claiming any GST. So it's a heavy taxing time. Most dentists usually aren't lodging their income tax returns for the 2019 year
Right.
until around about April or May. So it also becomes a cash drain on the business for paying that tax. Most certainly this cash injection or saving will absolutely be a bonus for the businesses. Any of those businesses that are also affected by the bushfires, don't forget that there are packages available. The tax office is certainly very lenient with respect to cash flow in the businesses.
Yep.
Both the tax office has got a revenue raising requirement because it needs to keep the country running, but there's no sense in the tax office wiping out businesses because of unpaid tax debts when the business is viable and it just needs time to get things together. So you're going to find that similar to when the GFC hit, that the tax office will be very lenient with payment plans for tax and for other things. Speak and work closely with your accountant, get the right advice, conserve your cash flow, and hopefully everything goes well with your business. I hope that's been helpful.
No,
If you
tips.
do want to contact myself or anyone at MW Partners, Specialist Dental Accountants, you can catch us on the website or look up the phone number. Just look up MW Partners. Give us a call. We specialise in looking after dentists. We've been doing that for the last 15 years. We know exactly how your businesses run and what issues you face. We're more than happy to help at this time.
You also mentioned, that's a great tips, Albert. Thank you. And you also mentioned, obviously, some of the tips which clients are very not sure about. Then you're happy to explain that in one of our events, yeah?
Yeah. So we know we've got the How to Recession-Proof Your Dental Practice coming up at the next three.
Yep. Three
sorry,
cities,
in Melbourne, Sydney, and Brisbane. Thanks,
Yeah.
Pravin. We've got really good speakers there, looking at everything from growing your business, protecting your business through lawyer. Dallas
Especially, it's
Sava.
very important, isn't it? Because obviously, what we're talking here is how to recession-proof your business, and obviously, it is it's important to understand what's happening, and obviously taking care of you, patients, and taking care of business.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right, and I think people need to be on the front foot and planning and looking at their business.
Right.
And the more information and advice you can get, seminars such as this put you right in touch with leading experts that are specialists in dental, and you can't get better than that.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Albert. Great tips, mate, as always. Really, I hope the viewers have really liked it. If you like this video, if you think that it is helping you in your business, feel free to give a thumbs up or share with your friends. We are here to help, and obviously this is a pretty tricky time, but our aim is to help dental practices, medical practices, to be recession-proof. On that note, any other things you would like to share?
No, that's all good. That's enough for once.
That's good. All right, thank you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Have a great day. Bye for now.